Okay, so we haven't spoken about this on the main channel yet, but we're very fortunate that Ali's managed to secure us a 992 GT3 RS slot, but it's not until next year.
Yeah.
So we've come in to start the early stage of specking it, and we're not going to give that away right now, but I've never seen this before. Your PTS box.
Entering average speed check zone.
Indeed we are. Good time to talk, I reckon, on a bit of a chill. So, welcome back to the Uncut channel. So far, so good. Honestly, anyone who is consistently watching this, thank you so much. Your sentiment, feedback, comments have been emotional. It's been very, very cool. I wasn't really expecting it to sort of gain the response that it had, because it was a bit of a roll of the dice. Damon from DDE was like, listen, we've been talking about this for a while. Get your finger out and film this Uncut channel. So here we are, and honestly, I'm loving engaging in the comments with you about all the crazy goings on that happen effectively once the main cameras go down. Speaking of which, today we're up in Scotland. In the next 24 hours, I think I'll be flying to 4 different countries, ultimately ending up in California, which will be super cool, for Monterey Car Week, and we'll be taking you along, and I'm hoping to go uncut heavy. I'm going to set myself the challenge of daily uncuts while I'm out there, so let's see how that goes. So now we're heading to Grassix BMW in Perth in Scotland to check out the new BMW M2. I'm told there's a manual version we can have a pedal of. M Performance Pack. Like you say, there's some parts that are really cool, but as Dylan refers to them, sideburns I'm not sure about.
Well, for me, it's all about them having a use.
Yes.
That's just for show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? The controversial exhaust system. Not sure about that either. What do you think? I'm not a fan of that.
Same as the remember when we had it on the initial M3
Yes.
or M4?
That's right, yeah.
When it was the same thing?
Yeah.
And, you know, you said at the time it's not brand.
It didn't feel on brand. Controversial one.
Right.
Would you go these seats or the sports seats?
I'd go with these.
It's a more practical option, isn't it? Yeah. Not to speak about practicality with a sports car,
but these are still amazing.
Yeah.
You know, they've got
actually
massive support on them.
Yeah. The sort of ingress, egress, the getting in and out of the touring. Once you're in those seats, they're okay, and they wrap around, and when you're driving a bit sportier, it's great. Yeah. But getting in and out of them can be somewhat of a challenge.
It's like getting in the car with flip doors.
Brilliant.
But for me as well, and being an automatic,
yes,
I left foot brake.
Same.
So I find the thing in the middle gets
same. Yeah.
So that's all
interesting. Everything in here then is familiar to touring.
Yeah.
Other than this thing.
Other than that, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Pedal placement's good though. Mm-hmm. At first impressions, it's really nice to get into an M car with a stick. Yeah. It's very cool. What do you think, man?
Well, at least you can sit in it this one. I much prefer these seats.
Yeah.
I know Eswan when it was, you know, right back at the start with your M3.
Yes.
Was saying he didn't like the buckets, but yeah, I understand it now. Like that M3 for a week in Switzerland, in and out of it with changing the cameras and things like that, you start to feel it.
It is a different thing from an aesthetic point of view. That they look amazing. They look so good. And the Kyalami orange, they've almost become an iconic styling statement. But the practicality of living with it. But I'd say it almost takes balls to not spec them in an M car, because they're so M, aren't they?
Especially as a YouTuber.
Right then, let's go and experience that thing. Yeah, I would be interested to ask why it is that the audience seems to like it so raw and so real and so uncut. It's interesting. I think from the comment section, it seems that the Uncut channel feels like you're really here, which is cool. One of the reasons we're here is we've had an M2 on order, and then Eswan throws a big spanner in the works because we ordered the auto, and Eswan was like, you know, the manual's much better. why didn't you tell us that? So he said, well, look, we've got one in now as a demo. Why don't you take it out? And then you can sort of make a decision and see what's what. I used to have a 1M.
Yeah.
And it was one of my favorite cars.
Yeah, it's amazing car.
Yeah. And I think if this has some of the DNA of that car in it, then that'll be cool. And that was a real parts bin job.
Yeah.
Gear assist, is that auto rev matching?
Must be.
Turn that off. What is the point in having a manual and having it rev match for you? Chassis, sports. What is the road surfaces we're about to go on?
Comfort.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's get halfway. Where they audibly pump sound in through the speakers.
So you can turn it off. It's
It
called
sounds
like
terrible.
M enhanced sound, and then
Right.
you realise that there is no sound.
There is no sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What's the world come to, eh?
You get a bit of an overrun on startup, but that's about all that you seem to get out of them.
So yeah, that being said about the sound, did you see AMG are bringing back V8s?
Yes. I don't think they've got any option.
What does that say? Well, the people have spoken.
Yeah.
Through the order books, effectively. I mean, you know, where they're so heavily steeped in culture for having a V8.
That's kind of the point, isn't it?
It is the point. Surely you can't just go, you know what we're going to do is stick a 4-pot in it.
Yeah.
Hard sell. Hard sell. And then maintain the same price point too, or even higher. This is one of those, it's sort of a similar challenging choice between on a GT3, you're going manual or PDK. You know, they're both cool and they're both good. I don't know. I think maybe if you're in Scotland, you would just pick this because this road's amazing. But if you're using it for a daily, you go into work, stuck in traffic, you want to weigh up your use case of time, right? It'd be a shame to be driving around town with a manual if your route home and to work wasn't on a road like this. Hear that?
Yeah.
Not sure if the camera's going to pick it up, but it changes engine or exhaust tone when you depress the clutch. Ready? It's only halfway as well. I don't have to press it fully.
See it on the window? Is it coming through the speakers or is it? Try again. That's outside the
That's
car.
outside the car. So maybe it's
Valves.
opening the valve. I've never experienced that. I mean, it's cool. It is cool. I like it. It was definitely better in comfort mode.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know about the styling pack though. All right, that was really cool. Actually, I'm getting to check it out in manual. Grassics have also got an auto, which I'd like to try as well. It's a shame they didn't have it there to back it, but that was a sort of chance pop in. We're up here having some meetings with some of the team anyway, and we're doing the obligatory popping by our friends at dealerships to see how they are getting on. So we're going from Grassics BMW to Porsche Perth, and we're going to be talking about a very special car, which I've actually not mentioned on the main channel, but well, we'll find out about that shortly. Oh my, can you buy that? What's it off of? Is it a 992 pipe?
Yeah, so it's titanium tailpipes, 992.
Right. It's got a soundbar wall at the back of it.
Yeah.
So
Wall mounted.
wall mounted, 992. I love that. How much is that? 8.5 grand.
Just under 8.5.
Just under 8.5 grand. It's the price of a real exhaust system. Do you have a KN event tomorrow?
Tomorrow night, yeah.
Tomorrow night. Hence all of the KNs.
Indeed.
So,
6 o'clock.
have you tested this? Have you spent a night in the Highlands, Ali?
Not yet. Not yet.
Look at that. Do you know, it's got to be the ultimate setup for going to watch a 24-hour race, hasn't it?
Yeah, we were talking about having a drive-in cinema here.
That's a cool one.
For winter.
Yeah.
Buying maybe 20, 30 of these and set these up outside in the car park.
Great idea. That's a wicked idea. We've got to have a look at this, Ali. So when did this arrive? Because
This arrived just over 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. Fully PPF.
it looks so good.
Indeed.
And you've got 2 guards cars in.
Two guards red, 991 Gen 2 3 RS, pre-Visac pack, and then a one owner 992 GT3 with all the trimmings as well.
Phenomenal thing. It's
Fully
mate,
PPF.
so yes.
And yeah,
Wow.
not many in guard red whatsoever.
No.
The majority were lizard green, GT silver.
Mileage 5.3.
Just over
5,300. Wow. It's really, really clean, isn't it?
Super clean.
Yeah. This mustn't be around for long. I mean, if you were in the market for a 991 Gen 2 right now, this is the one.
Yeah.
It's a machine. I recently watched. There's a guy in Germany. He's got a Gen 2 like this. He's had some Manti upgrades, not the full aero kit. I think he's had suspension, geo, pads and lines.
Yeah.
And he managed a 645 around the ring, bridge to gantry. Basically in that with some subtle tweaks. So I know we get caught up in the latest greatest of cars, but these things still seriously move.
Yeah.
Seriously move. Shark blue.
Sharp blue, 992 GT3, PDK also.
You got some great cars in.
Some nice stuff.
Great stock in here.
There'd be more if we didn't have to fill the show with 5 Cayenne. But
Come back next week.
indeed, yeah.
What do you make? This has reminded me. I haven't seen you since Porsche have launched some special kit.
For sure.
So no doubt your phone rang off the hook for how many ST allocations you don't have.
ST, RS.
RS. Yeah. And so we now effectively have an RS Spider, right? Or a GT4 RS Spider.
Correct,
Yeah, which will be an interesting car.
Phenomenal car.
Yeah.
Very, very small application.
Really?
But yeah,
When you say small, you're talking like 2 cars or
indicative of 2.
2 cars.
For a rolling period of 12 months. Perhaps a
Wow.
little.
So when, it's funny, you'll see it in the comment section, people, this will be a car that no one will get, etc., etc. It's not the dealer's fault. they don't, this guy would love to sell 200 of these cars, but they just don't get them. Yeah. Okay, so we haven't spoken about this on the main channel yet, but we're very fortunate that Ali's managed to secure us a 992 GT3 RS slot, but it's not until next year.
Yeah.
So we've come in to start the early stage of specking it, and we're not going to give that away right now, but I've never seen this before. Your PTS box. This is very cool.
Adults Lego.
Look at that. You could get lost in here. So all codes, all names. And what I love is it's in a Rimowa suitcase, right? An actual Porsche exclusive manufacturer.
Yeah.
Rimowa suitcase. That is trick. So is this an ever-growing option?
Yes.
And are there any... If it's not in here, is that classed as CXX then?
Yes, or Paint to Sample Plus.
Paint Sample Plus?
Yeah. Which you
Okay.
would request separately if it wasn't included within the Paint to Sample standard palette.
Right. So you've got standard palette. If you go on the Porsche configurator now, there's those standard palettes at the top.
Yeah.
Then you've got paint to sample,
Yeah.
which, by the way, took a massive jump in price since we last configured a 992, which is here.
Yeah.
And then anything outside of this is effectively a special request.
Correct, yeah. Correct.
Okay. And does that add time onto the production of the car?
It does, subject to Porsche approving the
Right.
Paint to Sample Plus request.
Wow. Okay.
But once they approve it, it will be, yeah,
Okay.
it will come along the same sort of timeline as everything else.
Brilliant.
Paint to Sample.
So we're currently super fortunate to have the. Let me see if I get this right. Is it that one or is it that one? It's that one, isn't it?
For
For signal? No, it's the wrong one.
Paint to Sample roulette.
Yeah. Hey, he's got it. So this is our current 992
Yeah.
GT3, which I absolutely love it
Yeah.
in signal. And I was super tempted to go again with it, but I thought, you know what, that'd be daft. So this is one of those cliche YouTube moments where we ask the audience, and we go, if you were speccing a 992 GT3 RS, what would you go for? There are many colours. I implore you to go on to the Porsche configurator, configure a car, upload it to Instagram, tag Porsche Perth, and we'll go through them and find out what the general consensus is on what colour that might be in
Sure.
favour. So yeah, I've got an idea, but Not going to tell you.
Please ask a member of the cabin crew. Thank you.
Another day, another hotel. Getting quite familiar with these things now. That's lost count of the amount of hotels I've stayed in so far this year, but such is the nature of the beast. Just touched down in Ireland, of all places. Sort of a quarter or half of my family originated from Ireland, and this is the second time that I've been here. Sadly, it's quite fleeting, so I'm not here for that long. Check my room. 8 something. Yeah, not here for that long, sadly. It's just a transfer before we head over to LA. But cracking airport hotel, this. Really nice. If anyone's flying into Dublin, highly recommend the Clayton Airport Hotel. Here we go. Cool, pretty good for one night. Speaking of which, calling it a day. 12:30 at night. Got a flight tomorrow over to LA, and then as I mentioned in this video, I'm going to try my very best to do daily uncuts while we're out in LA, which is a bit of a challenge. We're out there for best part of 2 weeks, and yeah, the main reason we're going out there is for Monterey Car Week, but we go to LA first. We've got a few cool things going on there, meeting up with the usual suspects. Definitely catching up with DDE, going to be catching up with Gunther Works, and then we got an awesome road trip up to Monterey, which is a kind of gumball spin-off event, like a very small sort of friends and family gumball trip up to Monterey, and then Car Week kicks off, and we'll be taking you along for all of that uncut stuff that in the past we haven't shared, which I'm really excited about. So lots of Koenigsegg things, going to be heading to the Quail, good things in the pipework. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, because it's a very new channel, and we're just really excited for the community that we're growing so far. As I'm recording this, we're at about 12,500 subs, which for 2 weeks is incredible, so thank you so much. And what I love about it the most is every day is totally different. None more contrasting than going from Napa Valley to Coventry lately. So, which that episode actually hasn't gone live, but it was filmed as part of the same uncut day, and we're just going to roll it as it really genuinely happens. Some things will be awesome, other things will be like episode 1, where I've just had all my bags stolen. So yeah, it's fun. Comments below, I'd love to hear from you what you're enjoying about it so far, and more importantly for me is what can we do better, what can I show you more of, what would you like to see, and let's see if we can build this thing together. So thanks for watching, we'll see you next time. Ciao.